are these people?
And here's a nice little middle finger to the dickhead that runs Amazon, Jeff Bezos. But it's unfortunate to the people who work there. I sent this over. He decided to try to take on trucking and turn trucking into like an Amazon type, an Uberification of commercial freight and trucking. So you have all these trucks, and you have small companies that don't necessarily need to move a truckload. So this is small partial truckloads. I think he was trying to compete with Yellow. And you saw that Yellow just went out recently. So now they've gotten rid of everyone. And they had an app. They had won hundreds of millions of dollars in backing from tech players like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. You know, the CEO would stay on to manage this wind-up transition. So they basically lit a couple of $100 million on fire to try to make a just-in-time trucking app. With 500 people. And everybody lost their jobs. So,
yeah.
So there's that. All right. Convoy had told customers that all shipments have been canceled from our marketplace. I read somewhere that they had like a couple of contract gigs with some pharmacy companies or something. They aim to bypass those traditional brokers, which work deals by phone, with machine learning and automation, and an app that would allow carriers with cargoes to find truckers with empty trailers. I mean, you think about it, in theory, it's a good idea. But think about the average trucker trying to list that he has availability. But according to this, they had, by late last year, 400,000 trucks and a roster of shippers, including Home Depot, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, and Anheuser-Busch. So they basically got outsourced access to all of these trucks that were sitting idle. So when they weren't in use, they could be outsourced by Convoy, right? By someone that needed a delivery from XYZ, from here to there. And they had people plugged in all over the country. Look at this. $928 million in equity and venture debt. Lit on fire. $1 billion. Meh. Like, there are no repercussions for this. Wow, look at this. By April 22, the head count was up to 1,300.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And then they were back down to 500 already. Because they kept hemorrhaging out business. And then they were just like, you know what? Shut her down. Now, what happens to all the assets? What happens to all this stuff? I mean, $928 million in equity. Jesus Christ. And venture debt. Well, venture debt is not necessarily cash, but that's a lot of cheese. That's so sorry for the people that worked at Convoy, and it sucks.
Sorry.
I don't know what the answer is to shipping. It's not 15-minute cities. It's not coal-fired trains. And a lot of the heavy equipment that moves a lot of the stuff that goes around the country, I mean, needs to be moved by a truck. I mean, our country works and runs by trucks, which is why literally 2 summers ago, I'll have to dig up the clip somewhere, in one of my very first live stream conversations with anyone that wasn't like an interview to talk about an event that I was promoting or involved with. I talked about a national trucker strike, and that if you shut down the trucks in very short time, if every trucker in this country decided to shut her down, like what happened in Canada, wow, you would see shit change. You would see shit change real fast. And man,
hey, listen, people can talk shit about the trucker convoy all day long, but I'll just say this. pinpoint, go back, look at the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Look at when the trucker convoy happened, and look at when the mandates across Canada just fucking vanished. Pretty quick. It happened pretty quickly. I think it was like a month, and it just all went away.
Yeah, how about
So,
that? Well, that
yeah.
plus the fact that they realized how safe and effective, and my heart swells with pride when I think about the effectiveness of this medication. But there's a little bit more to this article that they saw what was happening, that Flexport announced that they were laying off 20% of their workforce, including 165 employees. You know, shipping right now, cargo shipping is really, really rough, having a rough time. You had an influx of cash and companies into the market, and now you've got a bunch of those aren't panning out. Right? Many weren't yet profitable, still dependent on outside financing, but investors began to pull back from a cooling tech sector, now becoming doubly wary of freight ventures. Yeah. So freight is being hit especially hard when it comes to tech and SaaS because it never proved out as a profitable model to begin with, and they were taking a flyer. And now with the economy in the shitter, they're not taking flyers like they used to. They're not funding stuff like they were. There was money for every Series A that you had a decent pitch to throw out at these investors, apparently. I don't. That's not, look, man, it makes me wish I had thrown INN out there because we probably could have gotten $50 million to fund INN on a flyer from one of these morons that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Ah, yeah, an independent news network that challenges the... Yeah. Oh, we're back. Okay. I thought we were touch and go for a second.
That was a hiccup. Okay. That was a hiccup for sure.
But in the height of the tech boom, startups just could secure millions in funding in mere days. With increased market volatility, we've seen a broader shift in the venture capital landscape as investors become more cautious. No startup, not even the rocket ships of logistics technology, will be immune to these trends. Yep. So, industry insiders say that without additional funding and lacking the cash reserves, Convoy's options were limited. Yeah. So despite your excellent work and the painful and sweeping cost cuts you've had to endure, it was still not enough to get... Yeah, I guarantee you, this guy got some kind of a crazy golden parachute, or his pay while he was running this thing into the ground was substantially high as a former executive for Amazon. He wasn't running on no pay.
Safe bet. Real safe bet.
You know? So that's Convoy. That's Amazon. Oh, I wanted to show one other thing that I found related to Amazon. This was not a onion story. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that there again so that all of y'all can read that closely. And I'm going to read that out loud. Amazon let bottles of its driver's urine be sold as an energy drink called Release, a new documentary alleges.
What? That's okay. I'm sorry, y'all. That's like we've crossed firmly into Cyberpunk 2077 territories now.
What? Again, this showed up on my phone. I had to screen cap the alert. That's that's either my face or my kid's face blurred out behind that there. But I could not believe that one. Wait, what?
We're hitting capitalism levels that shouldn't even be possible.
All right.
Holy fuck.
Pearl Jam, now they're an Amazon company, so there is a song called Release. Oh, hey. Yes, you release me. I can totally see that being the theme song of like the commercial for Release. Oh God, it's so gross. Sorry. All right, so
just why any of this?
Why is this happening? I don't know. I don't know. I wish I did.